today, but today's going to be about all the fine folks that you see on the stage here behind me. So first, let's get a little introduction of everybody. Starting with Linda, what I'd like you all to, express is, where are you from? What type of market are you in? Are you a city market? Are you a suburban market? Are you rural? Are you a team? Are you a team member? Are you a solo agent? And also, how long you've been with EXP?
Okay, great. My name's Linda Ball. I have been with EXP now. I just finished my third year in real estate, second year with EXP. I'm located on the west side of Indianapolis. So my first year with EXP, I had missed Icon by four, right? Four transactions. And then this last year, I did get Icon for the first time, and that would have been my third year in real estate. I am on a team here in Indianapolis. We've got a team of 5, and love it, EXP.
Awesome. All right, moving on down the line. Let's go with Christine.
Okay, I'm not sure. I did introduce myself. I'm not sure. I think I might have been drowned out by the music. So I'll introduce myself again. Sorry about that, everybody. My name is Christine Andreasen. I'm in Seattle, Washington. I have a team. I have 17 agents, and I was with KW for 10 years, been with EXP for 3, been an Icon agent every year. Really the best move I ever made coming over to EXP, and I have 109 people in my EXP organization.
All right, excellent. Courtney, same questions.
Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Stewart. You may see Courtney Skipper. I just got married, have not changed my last name yet.
Congratulations.
But thank you. I'm super excited to be here today. I am in the Atlanta metro area, and I am creating a team now. I have a team of about 5 people, and I'm super excited. I've been with EXP for 1 year now. I've been in real estate for a total of 4 years, so I'm super excited to be on this panel today.
And last but not least, Freddie.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for all the servicemen who are in the audience. Thank you for serving our country. My name is Freddie Guerra. I am in Birmingham, Alabama. I have been with EXP for 3.5 years. I missed Icon Agent on my first year by not knowing all the details. I missed it by $18, even though I sold 24 properties after I capped. And I have gotten smarter, so I have made Icon for the past 2 years. I just capped 2 months ago, so I still have 9.5 months to do my 5,020 to go on my way to be a third-time Icon. I work mostly with Badgers in the city of Birmingham, which even is not a big city. It's more like, not really a metro. But I am super excited. When I made the changes 3.5 years ago to join EXP, I wished I have joined earlier because I saw the business in 2017 and then it did not make the decision change until 2018. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what EXP has to offer to the agents and brokers. And I did not recruit anyone. I just began recruiting, and I have about 12, 14 agents in my organization as of today.
Right. So what we're going to go over today is what contributes to becoming an Icon agent. Everybody has their own secret recipe for and that's what we ultimately want to get into the nuts and bolts of and share with the audience what the steps are, what's a day in the life of an Icon agent. How do you track yourself? How do you track your progress? How do you keep yourself motivated? So what we're going to do, we're going to start off, one question at a time, and just, again, keep moving right on down the line. We'll keep it nice conversational. So starting with Linda, let's start off with, what does your day look like? You wake up, run us through a typical day in the life of Linda.
Well, I've got little ones and big ones, 4 kids, so it's a little crazy. Okay, so So it's my day starts off with getting them, taken care of off to school, which includes 4 different schools. But anyways, after that, literally the first thing I do is just get in my office and start looking at, everything I have planned for the day, where I've got to be, make sure anything has not gone unanswered, anything that came in last night, whether it be questions about an inspection or whatever that might be. I like to knock it all out first thing in the morning. And then, just go on my day. Whatever comes at me, I'm just knocking it out left and right, basically.
Okay. And all right, Christine, same question.
Sure. I usually wake up and start with a practice I have from anybody that's ever heard of the Miracle Morning. It's 5 things where you just start your day right with a couple different practices of meditation and scripting and visualization. And then I will put on a pot of coffee, and at 8 o'clock every single morning, I'm on Zoom Monday through Friday with my team. And from 8 to 8:30, it's come as you are, super casual. Usually we're drinking our coffee or eating our breakfast, but we have a morning mastermind and we all just get to be together and be very intentional about the starting of our day. And then I'll have various appointments, either with my agent or interviewing other agents. I have listing appointments. And then, much like Linda just said, whatever urgencies, things that pop up that I have to handle on a day-to-day basis, I always leave a couple hours in my schedule that are open for emergencies, or, whatever, maybe not emergencies, but something that pops up that was unexpected. And then I usually end my day very similar. I make sure that I have time with my partner. I make sure I have time to wind down. I make sure that I have time for taking care of myself, so that it's not just the 14-hour frenzy it was for the first 5 hours of my real estate career.
Excellent. All right. And Courtney.
Hey, yeah. So honestly, I'm just figuring out the structure for my mornings. I have a little one too. And so that sometimes throws the whole day crazy depending on how she wakes up. But what I've been implementing now is waking up about an hour and a half before my partner, before my child wakes up, and taking that moment to just be for me. And it's not necessarily for real estate. It's cleaning the house. It's maybe doing some Pilates. It's making breakfast. It's just being in my zone and listening to some audible books. I really want to take that first, and I've been seeing a big difference in my productivity for the rest of the day. Taking that first hour and a half and just really honing in on myself. And then after that, I'm getting my daughter ready, dropping her off at school. And then I get to the office, and the first thing I do is client follow-ups. So a new system that I've also implemented is having my daily tasks written out. So clients that need daily attention, projects that need daily attention, I just have that all written out so that every day I'm filling out a chart that keeps my mind a little bit more organized on what I need to be doing and who I need to be speaking to.
Excellent. Courtney, you just touched on something that resonated with me a lifetime ago. Let's call it 20 years ago, when I was in a very different industry, very stressful industry. Manage the stress. I really got into size and strength training, and because I had such a long day that did not allow for any breaks, what I ended up doing was waking up at 4 a.m. every morning, devoted to strength training. And people thought I was crazy for doing it. And, when people say, oh my God, how could you get up at 4 a.m. when I was going to bed probably at midnight on a regular basis, because that's about the earliest I could go to bed. My response always was, I couldn't imagine not getting up at 4 a.m. and doing it. So self-care is, I can't tell you how critical it is, to decide time for that. And I'm always happy when I see others taking steps, because I know what a life changer and a life saver it was for me, and how it contributes to productivity of not just career, but also, being a better, spouse, a better parent, a better friend. Everybody listening, please make sure that you are taking care of yourself and not just living only for others. And you matter 1000%. All right, Freddie.
Well, yeah, my day, I don't have anything written down in terms of the things that I do as an icon. I know that I get up in the morning. I try to exercise the days that I can, hit the gym first thing in the morning. That's usually between 6 and 7. And then from there, I get my energy, get my coffee, and immediately go to my office. I really cannot work out of my house. Once I am in the house, I'm, doing something else. I get sidetracked. So I go to my office as early as possible, and I begin to work on all my current closing and listings to make sure that the paperwork is in order. I really don't like to see when I see my sky's low emails that I get, like I'm missing an initial, I'm missing a signature. So I want to have everything on green. Don't like to see red or yellow. It just makes me nervous. I work on all the current files first. Once I finish all my files, then I begin to work on marketing. And marketing, I call previous customers. I work on referral. I don't work a lot on new business. I constantly calling past agents, past buyers and sellers to make sure that their house is in order. Even though people who bought houses that are brand new, I still calling to see what's going on in their life. Once they're on the phone, then I can put my 5 words of how are you doing? Do you know anybody? Sort of like, so I am constantly marketing, but I'll do marketing not at a large scale. I do marketing basically one-on-one from past client. I've been in real estate 17 years. So as you know, I have sold more than 500 plus properties. So therefore, I have a lot of buyers and sellers that I have helped in my previous years. So I take advantage that the best way to do business is to get it from a referral, from happy customers. Then I don't have to sell myself again. I can just come with a stamp of approval from a customer who said, so-and-so gave me your name and number. He said, you helped, you were good, you were great. Can you help me? And then the rest of it is a lot of history. I don't have a roadmap. I work on goals that I usually have finished by October. And then once I know how much money I want to sell the next following year, then I stick to that plan. Very simple, nothing like organized things, but it works because I meet my goals and I also stay healthy.
So, Fred, you've moved into our next topic. I don't know if you're reading my mind here. That's quite all right. And our next subject here was going to be marketing and marketing time and marketing plans. And you've answered some of the questions I was about to fire off here. One other question I do have for you is how many hours a day or a week do you allocate towards marketing time?
Okay, like I said before, I am not an organized individual. I don't like organization. And basically, I'm not going to lie to you guys in the audience and I say that I have 4 hours. What I'll do is when I said I market myself, I put myself in a position that I can do people buy houses. So if it's 11 o'clock, I go and see where I'm going to have lunch and I go to the restaurant or I go to a cafeteria and I begin to market myself. I begin to talk to people. I begin to meet and greet. I look at my schedule because I do attend to a lot of functions. I like to do business one-on-one, the old-fashioned way. I love to make connection with potential buyers and sellers, shaking hands and just getting to know them. So when it comes to hourly times, it could be, the rest of the day. If I don't have anything else, then I'll see what I have in terms of what's next. Is my lunch, or it's at a meeting coming up where I'm going to be in an open house. It's at a tennis game. As long as there are people, I am constantly marketing myself, and it have worked very well. I usually carry 6, 7 buyers. I just put 3 new listings today, so it works very well. And I don't have a specific time. I just talk to people every time I can, and that could be all day until I get to my house.
Good. Now, Courtney, Coming to you with your marketing plan and schedule. Walk me through your actual devoted marketing time on like a daily to weekly basis. What's your allocation of time? How do you structure it?
Hey, good question. I think I'm a little bit like Freddie, where I don't have necessarily a structured time, but I do go heavily on social media. So I utilize social media for a lot of my marketing because it helps me keep in touch with my sphere of influence, but also to generate new leads that may not be in my sphere. So I utilize Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And because I'm on multiple different platforms, that does take time sometimes, but it just depends on that week and how I can allocate it. So some days I'm working 3 hours or 4 hours on social media, while other days social media is just working itself for me. I utilize social media. That's like my number one marketing plan. But I also do a lot of client events, client support. I make really good banana pudding.
Wow.
Yeah. So I like to, I did a banana pudding drive for my past clients where I just went to their house and dropped off some banana pudding to them. So now what we're going to do is implement another banana pudding drive, but this one's going to be geared toward reviews. So if my past clients give me a good review, then they're going to get a banana pudding. And then, so I try to stay creative and active within my past client as well as my sphere of influence, because a lot of times our reach is past our past clients. Sometimes our reach is within people who may not have worked with us, but they are supporters of us. So I try to make sure that I'm maintaining the connections with people who have worked with me and people who support me, as well as keeping a social media platform so that people can understand that I'm still active. And when they refer others to me, they can feel like they know me.
Excellent. I love the creativity coming out of that. I mean, I'm such a big fan of just not the old cookie cutter, things that people do, but that's the banana pudding idea. That's I'm not going to forget that.
Awesome.
All right. Christine, walk us through your daily to weekly marketing breakdown.
Sure, great. Yeah, we do. I've heard a lot of great things that we do as well. And on a bigger macro vision, we do a lot of events. I do have a beautiful office space, so we really take advantage of that now that we can have people be live again. We probably do 3 to 4 events a month. We gear some of them, like we have an investors, it's called the Winning Circle. We have an investors meeting once a month, which is a mastermind for investors to come. And my agents are there rubbing shoulders with investors. They bring their clients. They can invite buyers. They can invite anybody that they want. So it's a great opportunity for them to invite people and meet new people. I also am really committed that my team gets to start building passive income and they're not slinging houses for the next 90 years. So we do things like TikTok Tequila Tuesdays, where we teach agents about social media. And that's an opportunity for my team to bring other agents so that they can invite them over to EXP. We currently have a food drive going. That's a great way for them to get out and talk to their clients and talk to even a neighborhood if they want to market themselves in a neighborhood. We do have a practice of 3 hours of lead gen at least 5 days a week. Pick your poison. People like to do lead gen by calling leads in our pond. Maybe they like to do lead gen by circle prospecting around their open house. Maybe their lead gen is open houses. But we do a lot of lead gen on our team. 15 hours a week. So whether it's open houses, dialing, whatnot, just your good old fashioned standard lead gen. And then almost everybody on my team does 1 to 3 hours of social media as well. Just like I think who was just talking, was it Courtney? I think was just talking about her social media platform. I think that's really huge, and everybody does that. And then much like Freddie said in the beginning, I mean, when are we not marketing? We're real estate agents. I think it's really important that everybody have a couple lines in your pocket that you can pull out really quickly so that no matter where you are, you can get real estate into the conversation. So one of my favorite lines that I always use, especially like when it's coming to the weekend and somebody says, thank goodness it's Friday, I always drop the line, well, not in my line of work. So wherever I could ever say my line of work, I do, because I know that the response that it begs is, what's your line of work? And then I get to say real estate. So I'm marketing myself at all times, everywhere, all the time. And I'm teaching my team how to do the same. But that's some of the things that we do there.
Excellent. All right, Linda.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. I mean, one of the things I feel like, anytime I'm talking to anybody, sooner or later, real estate comes up, and it's just a reminder that you are a realtor. And I mean, I would say I feel like everybody I talk to, at some point it comes up. They might get sick of hearing it, but it's got to come up, because then they tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends. When they think of a realtor, they're going to remember your name. But as far as my marketing goes, I got to tell you, social media is really the number one for me. I'm just constantly sending out reminders of, a reminder to everybody that I'm in real estate and this is what's going on. I'm not as organized as I should be. Like one of the other gentlemen said, when it comes to the marketing piece, I'm just trying to fit it in whenever I can. So social media is definitely huge. I can't even tell you how many times a listing or a buyer has come just directly from Facebook. So first I'll get a message, and then eventually, we meet up, and it goes from there.
Excellent. So to the audience, we've heard some very diverse breakdowns in people's marketing plans. And in some of the panels that I've moderated, you'll have people say, all right, from 8 to 8:05, I do X, Y, Z. And then from 8:30 to 8:40, very diligently broken down plans of what they do. And I would say even my personal marketing time reflects a combination of all of our panelists here today. A teaching moment that I had with one of my team members. I'm a big fan of the in-person things. I love doing events, going to events, showing up at places, and utilizing that for marketing. And one day, a member on my team, his spouse was out of town, and I said to him, Tom, I want you to, go out, pick a nice restaurant to go have dinner at by yourself. And I want you to sit at the bar. And he says, why the bar? And I said, there's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of people that may be there by themselves. And people tend to be on the talkative side and on the friendlier side when they're sitting at the bar of a nice restaurant. And so he went out and did it, just picked a nice steakhouse, and he came back with a listing. That was Friday night. He just needed to eat, and he came back, with a listing. So, that meal and probably the next 10, 20 meals at that high-end steakhouse were all free as a result of that. In regards to the social media, a lot of other agents that have had the privilege of, interviewing and moderating, they allocate time for social media because it's huge right now. It's where everybody's at. I mean, one of the most wasted things that you could do is speak to a non-attending audience. Whereas if you've got a room full of people, or your social media platform that people are actually listening, take advantage of it. If you have ears, use your mouth if they're there to listen. All right. So we're going to shift gears here on subjects. So I'm sure everybody's been affected in very different ways, with the rate hikes. So one of the things I love finding out is how is everybody shifting and pivoting their business in response to the drastic market change that we've seen and the drastic overnight rate hikes. Starting with Linda. Linda, in your market, what exact shifts have you seen in response to the rate hikes, and how have you pivoted your business in addition or in response?
So it definitely it differs in the different price ranges, right? So ever since the interest rates have gone up, there's definitely less buyers. But it's crazy. If it just depends on the price range. So if you're looking at a house under 250,000 here, you're still in multiple offer situations. I just put an offer in the other day on one, and it was right around 200,000, and we still had to go 15 over. But we were able to do that and get it under contract. So as it goes up, as the price range goes up, it's just, there's definitely not as many buyers. One of the things that I've been putting out there is, for just a reminder to everybody that even though the interest rates are higher, I mean, really historically, if you look at it, it's not as crazy as, as what people think. They, a lot of people weren't around when they were a lot higher than what they are now. And also if you're currently renting, you're paying 100% interest. So I like to throw that out there as well, because 7 doesn't sound so bad when you're paying 100%. So
Sure.
yeah, so it just depends on the price range. Right now, it's definitely slowed down. We're seeing houses on the market for 30 days now, when just a couple months ago here, you wouldn't see that at all. There had to be something major wrong with that home.
All right. Christine, same question. What shift have you seen in your specific market, and how are you pivoting your business to adjust?
Yeah, great. Much like Linda just said, I have houses now sitting on the market for 60 days that I couldn't even keep on the market for 6 days last year. It was a hard stop mid-June. I mean, it was one weekend I was getting 15 to 20 offers, and the next weekend I was getting 2, just like boom. And I think it's really important to keep everything in perspective. Again, much like Linda said, it's 100% interest rate, not 7 when you're renting. And I mean, when I bought my house in 2004, my current house, I threw myself a party for getting 6%. I was so excited that I got 6%. So I just try to keep everything in perspective for people. And then one of the big shifts we've done is I do have sellers who now are talking about renting. So I will start bringing in Home Partners of America or Conversations for, down payment assistance programs so that I can put their houses up for rent. So I have them for sale and for rent. And then I put my agents in those houses, and my agents can turn 3 out of 10 of those renters into buyers using those partners. So I'm getting creative with ways to get my agents more buyers that are walking in thinking that they can't buy in this current market, thinking that they just got outed because of the interest rates, but they could get into something like Home Partners of America, where they'll go buy the house and then they rent for a year, and then they buy the house when they can afford it, or when they can get their credit up, or when they can get the down payment, or whatever that is. The other thing is, if you look at it, buying a house right now at 7% for $30,000 under the list price is still less expensive than buying it 6 months ago at $100,000 over the list price at 3%. And you're not going to have that rate forever. You could refinance out of that rate. Marry the house and date the rate, right? So
There you go.
Again, keep it in perspective.
I love what you're doing in regards to putting the house up for rent and then taking the renters and converting them into eventual buyers. One of the newer agents on my team loves working rentals, and I've sat down and said with her, I said, there's years later, there's countless tenants that I put into rental properties that, for whatever reason, either couldn't or just weren't able to qualify for a mortgage to purchase. But eventually, when they are and that time comes, who do you think's the first person that they're going to go calling to? Whether it's right up front, getting them to realize that they do qualify, sooner than they thought, or just being that point of contact for when the time is right. Just always, positioning yourself to be the one that's going to respond. That's a fantastic. And
it takes care of your sellers too, because if you rent that house, your seller still has you be the hero, and you're getting a listing a year from now.
Yes, absolutely. It's a win-win across the board. I mean, there's no losers in that scenario.
Exactly.
Great. All right. Courtney, what has the specific shift you've seen in your market regarding in response to the rate hikes, and how have you pivoted your business to compensate for the market shift?
Yeah, I think in Atlanta right now, what we're seeing is pretty much what everyone else is saying. They're seeing listings sitting a lot longer. I think buyers are really insecure right now, and they're a little bit weary on if they should do it or if they shouldn't. Sometimes because there's not the sense of urgency anymore, it feels like for me and my buyers that there's a lot of buyers teetering right now on whether they want to purchase. right now or not. So what I've been doing is just finding the opportunities. I haven't been looking for, let's say, different buyers or sellers. I've just been finding the different opportunities and keeping myself open to different opportunities within real estate and within this market. So I've noticed a lot. There's been huge opportunities in the Atlanta area for new construction. So I've been pushing a lot of new construction because that's something that I believe in and that I stand on, that if you're able to get in a new construction home now and utilize all the builders' incentives, that is going to be better for you in the long run. So I like to really sell things that I believe in. And so I've been really just trying to figure out, where are the programs, where are the opportunities, where are the things that I believe in this market, and then put that in the forefront and allow people to make a decision based on education, based on what makes sense, and based on me being a reliable real estate agent in the market and finding those opportunities for my clients. So I've been focusing on finding the opportunities, but I've also been opening myself up to different possibilities within my business. I've been exploring commercial real estate as well. I've just been focusing on where I feel led and where I feel as though people can come and follow, if that makes sense. I just been really trying to figure out, who is this market for? And right now, our buyers, even though the interest rate is high, I don't try to convince them that it's not higher or that their monthly payments aren't going to be as high. I think I just try to convince them on, if you don't have a lot of money, this is your time, because right now is a perfect time for you. If you don't have a lot of capital, like the buyers who did buy 6-7 months ago, this is a perfect time for you, because now you can negotiate. You can get some closing costs. You can get some builder incentives. You can utilize these programs that people weren't able to utilize before. So I've been really just trying to hone in on the opportunities and hone in on the positives of this market. And I've been doubling down on content. Increasing my exposure, because although there's a lot of buyers who are weary, a lot of sellers who are weary right now, they're all still watching and they're all still looking and they're taking notes. So whenever they do feel comfortable or whenever it is that time for them, I want to be the first person they think of, and I want to stay active. So I've been doubling down on content, doubling down on social media, doubling down on exposing myself as a realtor who is knowledgeable and who is also going to be reliable and someone that you can trust, that is not going to just try to make the sale, but also put you in a better position to accomplish your goals.
A lot of fantastic ideas there. So, it's funny, it's like every single one of you on the stage here, I'm taking copious notes, because all of you are just saying something that, I'm 100% going to implement. Guys are sharing here today. The audience is doing the same thing. But the big thing that you just said that resonated with me is, it seems like you're putting an ear to the ground and kind of following your personal true north to see where the opportunity lies, for you, because, we all may excel or otherwise in various scenarios, and that's fantastic. All right, Freddie, what's been the shift in your market in response to the rate hikes, and how have you pivoted to account for it?
Yes, basically for me is using all my techniques. Sorry that I gotta tell you this, but basically yes. What I'm doing is I meet the potential buyer. The real estate market here in Birmingham is not a big market. And I compare Birmingham with other cities, metro areas with really below the amount of listings that we normally have. Birmingham healthy market is 11,000 listings. We have 7. So prices has not come down yet a lot. We have seen anywhere from 3 to 4% on market as a whole in the metro area. But there are other areas that are maintaining their prices, because it's not a big city. We don't have a lot of inventory. But normally when I'm, for instance, working with my buyer, which is usually 75% of my business, I work with buyers. I try to get them prices on the front, a big discount, also the seller concessions. So I'm helping them with, closing costs, the drop in price, and also getting a lot of repairs when we do home inspection, things that we could not get back before June, and I explained to them back in June, you have to pay $20,000, $30,000 over asking price, no doing inspection. So right now they're getting all those things in there in order to make them move forward with the purchase. Interest rate is not been a big deal for me because 6.5, close to 7 is not the end of the world. We're not talking about 14, 15. So most buyers, they still comfortable with this rate, and if I take the time to explain them well about renting or owning, they still going to go ahead. I also tell them that when the market goes down, if it goes down in the future, they can always refinance in 2 to 3 years and still be ahead because they're going to profit from the increasing value on the properties. I am using a lot of the new builders here in town because now builders are beginning to roll out the red carpet for the buyers. Prices are beginning to come down a little bit. Right now, builders are offering buyers incentive such as refrigerator, blinds, gutters, all kinds of stuff, even money when they were not even using that. So I am using a lot of the builders incentive. Tell the buyers if you were thinking about a home here that you don't have to deal with repairs or age or old windows or roof. Let's go with a new one because you can get this. In fact, we have builders here that are purchasing the rate down. They're giving them 6% concession. So I'm using a lot of those in order to show I sold one or actually two, September and one in October, where the builder paid them for them to get in at 2.5, 3.5, and then end up with 4.5 interest rate for the life of the loan. But for the first 36 months, they were grandfathered in lower interest rate, and when the month 37 kicks in, they still going to be low, if they have gotten it with someone else. So my main thing is I call a lot of lenders, people that I know that I have relationship, and I say, what do you have that I can use today? What kind of incentive? There are a lot of local banks that has portfolio for big top buyers. So I use that technology. I use that in order to have some tools. So when I get the buyers, being able to give them those choices. So I have not seen a lot of drop in my business, even though I work with buyers, because I am using other ways that I can explain to them today and 6 months ago, because everybody coming to that mentality that if the houses are higher, well, it's not happening today, but they're getting a lot more because of the incentive that we're getting on the front end.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a wise strategy to lean on your business partners to see what extras are they throwing out there right now. I know in my market, my lenders that I work with, a lot of times we'll do, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, going over just new options and strategies. I'm sure in all the markets, people are using the 2-1 buy downs or just going over the concession in regards to, how much of a rate decrease that's going to offer, as well as really targeting those houses that have been sitting on market 30, 60, 90 days. And negotiating well under market value. Somebody presented something to me kind of recently, and a lot of times just taking a step back and just really understanding the real estate market from a historical standpoint is, real estate values on average should double in value approximately every 10 years. So when someone says, "Oh my God, the price has shot up," well, my response is, you should be happy about that. It's a good investment. It's only going to continue to go up, barring any crazy circumstance. And, so that just should reaffirm somebody's confidence in making a real estate purchase when we're speaking specifically in the long run. Short term, obviously, there's going to be, dips and ebbs and flows. But in the long run, and we're speaking of your average homeowner, you want them to realize that, yes, this is a long-term appreciating asset. And if you buy a property today, there's essentially 3 outcomes. One is that the rates stay exactly the same, which in that case, it doesn't matter that you bought today. If the rates go up, you can be happy that you bought today because now you're not at an even higher rate. And if the rates go down, then you refi when the rates drop. So it's either a win, or a draw. And there really, I can't foresee any alternate outcomes, from those three situations. All right. So my next question, Linda, walk me through, we're all walking through some great content here and, a lot of successes and things that contribute to positive business attributes. Let's hear about your biggest challenge or shortcoming that you had to overcome.
Oh, during the ICON year.
Anything.
Or currently.
So basically like an aha moment.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh gosh, I would say for me, it would have to be just organization. I have the busiest. I know probably everybody on this panel probably feels the same way, but with trying to balance life, right, with real estate, especially if you're, having an icon. I mean, that's my first time. Again, I've only been in real estate and just entering my fourth year, so I'm still, learning a lot. But I could say, I was really unorganized initially when I started to get so busy, right? And what I realized is if I didn't jump on and answer, whatever it is coming at me right then, I mean, it's just gonna get backed up, right? And then you create a mess. I mean, at one time, especially if you have several pending properties all at once. So I would say the biggest thing for me, one of my teammates said, get some boards put up on the wall, which I did that. I had one going with all of my, active listings, closings, all that, and the other one with just everything that was pending. And literally anytime something would come in, any sort of question from, one of my clients, I just made sure to jump on it the second I could. And by doing that and kind of changing, being more proactive, it just made everything go so much smoother for me. I was just able to, manage several properties at one time and several deals while still trying to balance life and a husband and 4 kids running around. So anyhow, that's what I would say for me. That was a big aha moment, just realizing that I had to really get on it and just, answer everything as it was coming into me, not putting anything off to the side to deal with, I'll look at that tomorrow. No, I got to do it today, but that helped me to get everything in line. And I was able, as the year went on, I mean, things got easier. It was easy to manage multiple clients. That's pretty much it.
Great. Hey, Christine, talk to us about the biggest challenge that you had to work through that, also became that aha moment, like that teaching moment, help improve your business.
Yeah, I think it really is for me that I'm going to do what brings me joy. There's so many things that we, in real estate, it's like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. And I'm not going to be able to do all of them. So I'm going to do the things, I'm going to find my zone of genius, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the things I love to do, that are profitable, that I do well, that make a difference, that contribute, and I'm going to leverage the rest out. And I literally, when I started giving away all, when I got my first assistant and when I got my first marketing rep and when I stopped trying to do all the things, it was just a game changer for me. I'm great at training my team. I'm great at really empowering people. I'm great at leading my huddles. I'm great at selling real estate. Obviously, we're all good at that. But there's a lot of things I don't love doing, and I don't do them anymore. So I bring somebody who's great at that. I bring somebody in who that's their zone of genius. And I think it's really important for all of us to leverage. It's so hard for so many of us. We're such high D's, or we're such entrepreneurial spirits. We think we have to keep control of everything, and really letting go of control and giving away the stuff that's not your jam is a game changer.
I was certainly guilty of that in thinking that I had to do everything. I didn't want to relinquish control, and it was certainly stifling until I woke up and realized that I shouldn't do it all.
Yes.
All right, Courtney, same thing. What's one of the biggest challenges that you worked through that ultimately solving helped propel your business forward?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of both of these ladies. Organization and working in my zone. I really am a big believer in not trying to figure out everything and just work where you feel like you're the most confident or working in your genius. I think that really helped my business a lot when I got my assistant and was able to delegate tasks that were just putting me out of my element, but more so organization. I'm a big idealist. I'll have 1,000 ideas and then maybe execute one. So I think I had to get really focused. And I think there's such a beautiful power in focus, and really hone in on certain tasks and really hone in on certain projects and certain clients so that I can see them to completion. So I really am still working on extra organization. I want to make sure that even we hear a lot of people say time blocking, and I was a little bit against time blocking because I am such a free spirit and I like to go with whatever kind of I want to do that day. But it's so much power when you can focus in on what you're supposed to do at that moment and not always think about what you're supposed to be doing next. So I've been focusing in on organizing my life, balancing everything, and just really making sure I'm prioritizing my clients and the different projects I'm working on as well.
All right, Freddie, same question. And Freddie, just make sure your mic is unmuted. Same question. What is the biggest challenge that you've worked through, and what impact did it have on finding the resolution?
Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Well, my biggest challenge, because I am a Generation X, is embracing technology. And because I don't embrace technology very well, I keep making the excuse of, well, I'm going to retire soon. I don't want to work in 2-3 years. I'm going to retire. I'm going to get out. I don't want to do more real estate. I don't need to learn, or I don't need to learn Instagram or YouTube channel. That is the biggest challenge, and that could make a big impact on my income. So right now, I am currently working with a group of youngsters to help me organize that, because I lack technology. And my excuse has been, like I just mentioned, I'm going to get out, I'm going to retire, no reason to learn. But when I see other agents in their 60s working, I say, well, what if I retire and then I want to come back? So I think that portion is the biggest challenge. Everything else is working fine. So I am going to embrace technology, put all my tools out there with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and really make it happen, because the business is there to grab.
And Freddie, I'm with you on that piece. I'm a Gen Xer myself. I'm of the Facebook age. I relatively recently just started, promotions on Instagram, creating a business. Funny things that I learned is that, your Facebook, your average user is going to be 45 plus. Instagram is like 35 to 45, and then TikTok is kind of below. And it might be off on the years, but. And when I first created my Instagram business page, I found that all of the people that were responding and interacting were 45 plus. And so all I was doing was just replicating the same audience, but, just really doing some research and just having a lot of great conversations with others in the industry, learning how to adjust my content so that now I get a nice even blend of all ages, going all the way down to, 20. I'm not pigeonholed into any one specific demographic anymore as far as like age, gender, or anything goes. And, it's a learning process for sure. But as with anything else, practice, learn, read, research, and ultimately, steps closer and closer to goals. All right, so we've got just a couple of minutes left here. I want to leave these last few minutes for Q&A from the audience here. You go ahead and feel free to start typing questions into the chat box here, and we'll fire off responses for you as we can.
If anyone in the audience has any questions, feel free to open up your mic and ask our icons on the stage.
Yeah, real quick. So have you ever found yourself in a funk, kind of like where you just felt that you're up against the wall, there's so many things on your plate and you can't organize them and you just kind of freezing?
Well, did you have anyone in particular you're firing that off to, or just generally anybody on the stage?
Yeah,
Start off.
It's general.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, many times. I mean, it happens all the time. You have to, that's the self-care, right? That's why I have my miracle morning practice where I literally now, it is the hardest thing I ever had to do. I do not look at my phone first thing in the morning. I do not look at my phone. I want to, I'm addicted to it, but I don't. I get up, I take a few breaths, I put on the coffee, I come sit down. That's how I keep myself from hitting that wall every single day, as I give myself 20 minutes in the morning to really get myself centered and grounded and get my perspective right before I look at my phone and hit that wall of crazy that is my business.
Christine, would you be willing to take a call from me? I'm actually here in the Snoqualmie Valley over on the east side of Seattle.
Sure, of course. I'll put my phone number in the chat.
Thank you.
Any of the panelists, anyone else want to share a response to his question?
I would say absolutely. I all the time. I think that when you are in those moments, it's really big and imperative to lean on those around you and really build a community or build a group, or, within being with EXP, we have a lot of communities you can be a part of, and just get that momentum back, or remind yourself of your why, or really take a day off, really try to get back centered so that you can get back focused and back driven. I always say the best me is a refresh me. So I just make sure that I'm operating in my best, because when I'm not in my best, then that's when all the mistakes happen, the anxiety happen. So make sure that when you feel that way, it's an indicator that somewhere else in your life or somewhere else in your emotions, feeling is lacking. So try to figure out where the lack is coming from and then feed that.
Thank you.
Folks, so it looks like we're right at the end of time here. Joining us here for ICONversation, I'd like to thank all the panelists. I certainly took a lot away from everything that you guys had to share, and I hope it was equally informative and helpful to everybody listening in the audience today. As always, anybody in the audience or even panelists ever need help, want to chit chat, run ideas, I love sharing and collaborating. I think I can confidently say that on behalf of all the panelists as well. If anyone connected with anybody and you would like to have additional conversations, know that this is a company that's all about collaboration over competition. So with that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic